Well, it's Uncommon Fossil. We're taking a look at Miraidon EX, in particular the Miraidon EX deck that was played by Jesse Parker at Worlds, where he came in third overall, I believe, is what the final standings will reflect. Although I haven't seen it, the official Pokemon list as such, but he lost in the semifinals to Iron Thorns, a rough matchup for him. But he was undefeated going into that, so had a tremendous run there. And look, Miraidon's a very good deck. It's a fun deck. It's a deck I like. I know a lot of people like. So I want to take a look at his 60. We'll take a look at the deck in action first on the rank ladder, and then after a couple games, I'll go over the list in particular and break down his 60. And obviously, look, it's a great 60. And will I say I'm going to probably suggest some changes, but look, it's not because his list wasn't good, because his list was not just good, it was great. Okay, there's no denying that. But it was built for a tournament setting, best 2 out of 3. Rank ladder is best of 1. And also has a certain defined meta there that he predicted very well what it would be. So congrats to him. But the meta we're going to see on the rank ladder is going to be a little more diverse. So I think there's some changes to make the deck just a little more consistent in general. But let's take a look at the deck in action, and then I'll go over the 60 afterwards. All right, we'll see what happens here. There's been a lot of cards and decks countering basic Pokemon today, which isn't a shock, right? The top 3 decks at Worlds, I don't remember the 4th, were all basic only decks, right? You had Iron Thorns 1, you had Roaring Moon, one came in second, Miraidon came in third. I'm taking a look at the Miraidon list because that's, I've always had a soft spot for Miraidon, and I just want to see how the deck works. And it's pretty much an old school Miraidon deck. I will put in the active spot. I'll chuck Radiant Greninja up there. I'm not positive. Iron Hands might have been the better play. What would I have? Dialga? All right, Dialga. With the nice looking alternate art there. Yeah, so Dialga Matang. Obviously, can I take out the Dialga? If I could take out the Dialga, life is really good. I have research. That's awesome for sure. So drop this guy down. Oh, I didn't want him in play. I didn't want him in play at all, did I? I did not. I'll wait on that. Oh, let me use this first. It might be a mistake. Now that's bad, right? Getting those 2 energies was exactly what I did not want to get. So, yeah. Do this. I'm going to research. This is too many energies losing, which is always bad. I got a generator though, so that part's good. So I need Miraidon. That's what I need, because that gets me the 1 shot, and I'm really happy if I get that. So give me 2 energies here, and I can make things happen. I do. Well, let's think. I'm not out of the woods yet, though, am I? I need to get down Squawkabilly, which is great, and because I've got a switch still and stuff, right? So I need another energy too. I'm very much not out of the woods yet. So what else do I want to drop down here? Or just to discard, right? I'll just grab the Squawkabilly just to discard, right? Because I don't want him in play. And this is good. I hope it's good. Got another generator, and I can grab my tool to switch, right? I can attach as well. So this is awesome. This is awesome. So let me grab my... Hopefully, if the tool's not prized, I can attach too. It's okay. It's really okay. So this is good news for me there. I retreat. I take the knockout. It really cripples my opponent big time. And I will start powering somebody up as well. I should slap it. Do I want to... I'll drop 1 on Iron Hands because he's really good at some point potentially. take the knockout. Can't attack next turn unless I double switch, which I might not be able to pull off. But you know what? They can't attack with Dialga V-Star next turn. So that's what you want, right? I got my second Miraidon in hand. That's good. I have Generator, so I could go for the Raikou V. I could go for the Iron Hands. Yeah, this is awesome. I have also... All right, so Pheasantipity is, of course, very good for them. That's a, look. This start to this game has gone exactly what Miraidon wants to do. My opponent, they got up against the Dialga V-Star deck, right? They got 1V in play, and on my first turn, I was able to knock out, because I can do 220, they're only V. So now I have a turn. They're just setting up this next turn, and potentially... we'll see what happens here. They need to get another Dialga down, of course. If they don't do that, they're in a huge amount of trouble. If they leave something in the active that I can take out with Ampu very much, and I just need to get one energy off the generator, actually, right? So, because then I can hard retreat, and I do 100 damage, and I take 2 more prizes, which is so I am in crazy great shape here. So let me see what I get. I got 2, even better. So I'll do this. I will retreat to the bench, and I will take 2 more prizes, right? No reason. I'll just retreat. Let me save my energies and all that stuff, right? Might as well. And I attach per turn. I could get rid of the double turbo, but again, no need to do that. So I'll just do this, and I take 2 prizes. So now I am, a turn away from winning game. I have a Forest Seal Stone in play, which means I could just gust up the Pheasantipity and attach right now. And I have Boss in hand, better still. Now I need 2 cards per game next turn, right? Because I need an energy. I need a lightning energy to attach, and I need a Boss, unless they leave the Pheasantipity there, of course, which they might be. Honestly, at this point, Boss gets me game 2, because they're not going to knock me out. I could just Boss and take out either... I can even take out the Matang, right, with my Iron Hands. So unless they'd have to get rid of my hand, they don't know it's my hand, but they do now have Forest Seal Stone, so they have to play a Lost Vacuum, get rid of my Forest Seal Stone. I mean, Tool Jammer does it as well, actually, right? I don't know if they play that or not. So this start to the game has gone tremendous, and I've just brutalized my opponent, which is what Miraidon can do, right? That's why you got to get a little lucky, right? I mean, honestly, Jesse Parker, he played well, right? He's a good player. He took a deck that he was very familiar with, which I think is super, super important. Just knowing the different plays you have is really important there. So you know that better with a deck you've played a lot. Taking, the idea of making a meta call for a tournament, it's valid too. Don't get me wrong, but playing a deck you're familiar with, you're gonna get better results. So they can retreat. I guess they'll send up Dialga, which is fine there. I'll just play the Boss, I assume. I don't think they can stop me from winning this next turn at all. So yeah. So anyway, and they know they're in a ton of trouble, right? They knew from my first turn that they were in a ton of trouble, and then I got the Iron Hands the second turn. So all very nice there, right? So just awesome. And they can attack. They can do, well, potentially they could do 180. I mean, that's a solid number. It doesn't take me out though. And even if they get rid of my tool, they don't get rid of. They don't knock him out, right? So, and even if they did knock him out, I can probably attack with Miraidon. In which case, I need to take out obviously Dialga. So they're gonna hit into me. Oh no, they use the first attack to accelerate energies. But so I just play Boss, right? So you're doing 120. Just do this and take my 2 prizes and say thank you very much, and they concede. So Miraidon. I mean, look, the deck just rolled my opponent brutally, which is what this deck can do, right? You're gonna have games you're just gonna win easily, and then for the most part, other games it's a competitive game, and with good decision making, you can still get the wins. And the deck showed off its power that last game. All right, see what happens here. The matchmaking at live is really weird. I mean, my ranking, my points I'm 1,000 more than my opponent. I mean, which is probably unfair to them. Look, they might be playing a deck that's just going to roll me too. Don't get me wrong. I've seen like player, at first they may be a very good player, and secondly, yeah. So look, it's not like I'm going to win. But if you're a new player and this is what you're getting by the matchmaking system, that's not good, right? If you're a new player and that's why your points are low because you don't have great decks and you're still learning the game, you don't have a big card pool and are learning the game, it's not fair if that's the matchup you get. Now look, they have a team challenge sleeve, so they played the team challenge, which meant I'm trying to remember the sleeves. You might get it just for participating in one of the events. I don't know if you had to make the team, which generally, and I had done that in the past, at least once. I was on the team the one season. I don't know if I tried to make it a season and didn't. And then the next season, I think I did one event and then not again because it was just the timing, the scheduling of the challenge once you got to the competitive part was awkward. It was just awkward. It just didn't feel like you kind of have to have a very flexible schedule because every week you're playing a new opponent until your team's knocked out, and you don't know when that game's going to be until like a day or two before. So it's going to be on the weekend, but you can't really. But the whole challenge can go like several months long, and you can't. At least for myself, I can't keep every weekend completely open for like 2 months. That's just not realistic. So. All right, so Raging Bolt. So the idea here is I need to take 2 prizes on my turn. It's real simple. Now, the least squawkable, if he stays in the active, he's super squishy, and that's awesome for me. Yeah, that's awesome for me. So I just need to get 2 energies in play, which is very good there. Oh, now that would be greedy. That would be greedy. To try to boss, right? To boss up the Regidrago. Let's see what's in here. I want to get down. Well, I need to get Miraidon down, I think, right? Miraidon, which lets me get down. Oh, Raiku's prized. I only have that doesn't make me happy. Does not make me happy at all. All right, let me see what I hit with the generator. Well, let me. Do I want to thin my deck a little bit? Do I need Zapdos in play? Let me think about that. I might as well drop. I think I drop Zapdos down because he's not bad. I just want to thin the deck too. I want to hit energies here. That's what. And yeah. So if I hit 2 energies, I only hit 1. Wow. Do I go for it here? Maybe I do. Do I attach to the act? Do I attach bench? I think I discard this energy. Is what I do here. So I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna just go nuts here. Obviously the fact that I missed. I need a switching card as well, so I might need to attach active. Depending if I hit 2 off a generator. Okay. Well, this isn't terrible. Let's see here. I can drop him into play, and I have a spot for Lumineon V still. Because I need to get Gen 2 off a generator. I do have rescue board, so I can grab the rescue board. So I should have attached to the bench guy, right? But give me a generator. And I have Lumineon V, I can Arvin still. Okay. And so this is good. Give me 2 energy. No energies. Oh man, that is rough. That's rough. Okay, well, I've got to go for it. I've got to go for it here, right? I didn't play a supporter, right? I did play supporter, so. All right. I haven't attached per turn yet, though, right? So, I mean, this isn't good, but so I'll grab a supporter for next turn, but I'll grab Arvin for next turn. What's the energy count? But I need to grab a generator and hit off generator. That's what needs to happen here. So forest, but it's here for the Forest Seal Stone play, right? Give me generator, and I have a chance. Look, yeah. You know, how well do you hit off this randomness? I got the 2, so that's great. So I'm doing 230. I can't attack next turn. Do they get the knockout? They might miss the knockout next turn, though. That's part of what I'm hoping for. And I do take the knockout, so that's the big deal here. And I took out the guy with the energy, which means they need more pieces next turn, right? That's the idea. And the Squawkabilly is like super squishy target, right? So while it would have been nice, it would have felt nice to take those 2 prizes. That wasn't the 2 prizes I wanted to take. So Regidrago V. So they think so it looks like they think they could take the knockout here, right? Obviously, that's what they want to do. If they can, that's a big deal. What can I do? I don't fully know. I have Pheasantipity. Assuming they get the knockout, I think I send up Squawkabilly. I could send up the Radiant Greninja as well. I don't think I want to send up Zapdos. Problem is I don't have another attacker in play, right? The fact is, I don't like Iron Hands in this matchup. I mean, Iron Hands is great against Squawkabilly. It's 3 prizes. But, so they got that. They need Energy Switch. They have one, because they have their V-Star power. So they can Energy Switch, which is good for them. They need to Energy Switch too. So, okay. I mean, that's a good play. I have an Arv, and they know that, because I had to grab... I need to grab something with my Lumineon V. Boss. I don't know what I can do here this turn, though. We will see what happens. Assuming they take the knockout, which I assume they will, right? They have Energy Switch. They need to get 2 energies on this guy, so they need to get 2 Energy Switch, but they're drawing cards. They had Iono, which if they had Switch there, they might have used it. So we'll see what happens here. That's the way I look at it. Well, that is the way we'll look at it. That is the way to look at it, I would say. What did they get there? Do they have 2? They just have the 1 Energy Switch, but they might have 1 in hand. If they have 1 in hand, what are their attacking options, by the way? I wasn't paying attention. So Kyurem, all right. I mean, I'm not... Gudra, okay. I mean, they can't... I mean, they actually might miss the knockout, right? The Defiance Band gets the knockout. What did they grab with my town store? They didn't grab anything. Okay. So, see what happens here. They might miss the knockout, in which case I need to double switch. That's not ideal. I can start... Well, if they don't knock anything out, I can't really start powering somebody else up either, so that part's pretty awkward. So 1, do they have the 2nd Energy Switch? Retrieving energy? Okay, I mean, that doesn't really get them anywhere. They don't need the energies this turn. That's probably not the best play, I would say. Maybe they have their 4th Ogerpon in hand. They just discarded 1, right? That's the first one in the discard. Probably have 2 in play. So if they have Ogerpon, and then with the Grass Energy, they can accelerate. They can draw another card. Okay, they do have the switch. So I'm not sure about the Spirit Energy Retrieval, but maybe that's the right play. Want to get down. I'm guessing a Regidrago. Well, I'm not sure what they want to get down. They're gonna. It's gonna be. Look, I'm gonna be in an awkward spot. So they failed that. Okay, they don't have another V down to attack. They have the grass guys, of course, but I can one-shot the grass guys. They do have the V, right? They had a V in the yeah. They had the V in the discard pile, which they grabbed. So with the Night Stretcher, which makes a lot of sense there. So I assume they're going to do... What are they going to attack with Gudra? They're attacking with Kyurem? Wow. So which is, okay, interesting. They don't take any prizes. Right? Now I don't get to... But another... They win next turn if they Kyurem again, but can they pull off a Kyurem next turn, right? That's That's a lot to look for, right? So let me grab a tool because I need a switch card is what I need. A switching card is what I mean to say. So I don't. Does that help me? So that the bravery charm goes in the Pheasantipity, I would think. So we'll see what happens. Now the question is, can they get their next turn to be what they want? I don't know if they can. So I can take a knockout though, which is really good. Which is very good. So let me switch cart, or let's see. This guy heals 30, right? So what is meaningful on any of these guys? Is it meaningful? I will send this guy up here. I will reset things here. I do have boss. I think I need to take 2 prizes this turn is what I think I need to do. Attach the tool here. I actually probably should take out an Ogre Pawn, right? That's what I'm thinking. Take out Ogre Pawn. None of these guys really want to attack, unfortunately, and I can't get them out of play. So let me take out an Ogre Pawn to make it so that hopefully they can't get off their attack next turn. That's the goal. And I'm doing the extra 10 to 30 because I have the Zapdos. So I go to take 2 more prizes. Now they need to get rid of my tool and copy Kieran's attack again. So they sent the Regidrago V back up. There's 2 reasons. First off, if they don't send him up, there's a decent chance that if I can attack onto somebody else, I get the knockout with Miraidon. So we'll see. It's not a great spot I'm in though, as far as I'm concerned. But I've done this to myself in a sense. I filled up my bench with these weak, with support Pokemon, which is great. I have gotten some value out of them, but at this point, I have no second attacker. So once I get knocked out, I can, get going. At this point, they have to get their 3 energies attached, and they have to bump my tool, or turn it off, or get rid of it, and then they would win the game. So my opponent could win this turn. And they conceded, and partly getting the tool attached was a big plus. If I didn't have the tool, then I would have needed to retreat, get rid of the energy, and use the switch cart, which I think would have gotten me also out of. I think I had 100 HP left, so that would have got me out of the danger zone as well. And that actually would have been safer to do, I guess. But I wanted to keep the energy is partly what I was thinking there, because, I just partly I could have used it for Radiant Greninja my next turn. And taking out the Teal Mask Ogre Pawn obviously hurt them too, because then it took away their engine piece. And while the game was not over, my opponent didn't have anything to do. They probably felt, they weren't going to be able to attack that turn, which meant I could probably had 2 turns to win the game, and the odds were I would pull off. Although, look, the fact that I didn't have another attacker in play, I don't have Pressaturo Scenario deck, I couldn't get another attacker set up. It made it, I wasn't guaranteed to win. They could have stalled a little bit and possibly won the game, but, they didn't know what was in my deck, and also, they might not have wanted to, look, the odds are in my favor for sure. I will grant you that. But if they kept playing out, they would have had a chance, I would say. But look, the deck performed very well there. And let's go over the list, the 60 in detail, and talk about some of my thoughts about where the deck is. Obviously, it performed well, but there are some changes one could make, and especially when you're taking it out of the competitive, one specific tournament meta, just for a general ladder play, there might be some changes that will take this obviously top-tier deck and make it a little bit better and consistent on a day-to-day basis. All right, so the deck performed well, which is not unsurprising, right? First, it did tremendously well at Worlds, came in 3rd place. Jesse Parker gets, I believe, an automatic invite to Worlds next year. If he hadn't run into the Iron Thorns play matchup, which is particularly tough, he very well might be the world champion right now. So, but congratulations to him for a great tournament run, great game play, and putting together a great 60. So I'm going to go through the 60 in the deck and possibly some changes because I think I said it in the introduction. He built the list for a certain meta he anticipated at Worlds in a certain tournament structure. We're on the latter, not in a tournament structure. And the decks we're going to see up against are a little different. So what we need to do is potentially a little different here. But look, Miraidon, 2 copies of Miraidon EX. Very good attacker. It's a good attack. It's actually a very important attacker in this deck, I think. I honestly might even put a 3rd copy. And with this list, the number of attacker in Pokemon you have is very limited. And depending what's prized, I've run into problems where getting another attacker in play and setup's been a little tricky. So I would actually like another good attacker. And by good attacker, well, first, look, Miraidon EX tandem unit ability, super awesome. Put 2 lightning energies onto your bench. Great there. And the attack does 220. So this is the biggest attack early game that you can do. It's 3 energies. That you can get there, but you're not going to guarantee, you're not always going to hit it. Don't think you're always going to do Photon Blaster on going first on your, if you go second, on your first turn. But it'll happen often enough. It's worth taking the chance, I think. But you can't attack the next turn. But then we have Bloodwound Ursaluna EX, very good, but it does 240, it does the most damage, but it's only late game when you can pay the attack cost, because this 5 attack cost gets reduced 1 for each prize card your opponent's taken, so it's really a late game attacker, not early game. So we have the Miraidon, we have the Raikou V, 1 copy of that, really good there. I could see even a 2nd copy of this, but I think a 3rd copy of Miraidon EX would be the change I make. Raikou's really nice because it attacks for 2 energy right from the start of the game, so it's the easiest attacker to power up. It does less damage. It caps out at 220 because Lightning Rondo does 20 plus 20 more for each bench Pokemon. You can have 10 bench Pokemon if you and your opponent both have max benches. So does 220. Now, once the new stadium that you can expand your bench, if you have a Terra Pokemon to play, perhaps something like Raikou gets revisited, but that's not where we're at right now. So, but it's nice to have the 2 energy attacker. Very good there. And then 2 copies of Iron Hands EX. This is really important in the deck. Obviously, amp you very much. You need 4 energies, so that's the tough thing. It's not easy to pull off amp you very much, say your first turn going second. It can happen, but you do need to get, I think, from my experience, things to go your way a little bit for that to happen. And if you attach a double turbo, you're down to 108 damage you're doing, but obviously there's a lot of pre-evolutions in the game, and you're going to take those out and snag 2 prizes at some point, or if you take out a multi-prize Pokemon, either because it's damaged and you finish it off, or if it's Lightning Weak, and obviously Squawkabilly's Lightning Weak, Lumineon V's Lightning Weak, you one-shot those, and Lugia is you can deal, any Lightning Weak Pokemon, you have the potential to one-shot multi-prize guys there, so then you take 2 or 3 prizes, great, but otherwise you're doing capped at 160 for Arm Press for 3 energy, so you're not doing as much damage with Iron Hands a lot, so games where Miraidon's prized, which seemed to me it happen a lot, I really wanted another big attacking option, so that's why I think I wanted the Miraidon. We also play a Zapdos just to boost the damage, right? Lightning Symbol. Your basic Lightning Pokemon do 10 more, which is good, right? So then we get 10 more for all our other attackers, except Zapdos. It wouldn't boost a Zapdos if we had a 2nd Zapdos in the deck. And we can attack for 110. It does 110 for 3 energies, which, of course, if we're up against Mimikyu, it does deal with that. So it has a little use there. But things, obviously, what I will say right now on the ladder, because the top 3 decks at Worlds were all big basic decks, there's some basic counter going out there right now, not surprisingly, and that is rough for a Miraidon EX deck. Then we have a lot of support Pokemon, which makes this deck great, but I've also seen some Snorlax, I gotta say, when I've been playing this deck, and all these support Pokemon means Snorlax is really, really rough, but it means you can set up, but do be careful too, because you start to fill up your bench with the support Pokemon. You also don't have much room for your attackers to set up for future turns, but you got to set up because it's a turbo deck. You go fast, you go hard. So we play 2 copies of Squawkabilly EX. Squawk and See's ability, you motivate. Squawk and See's, you discard your hand and draw 6 cards. You can only do it on your first turn, and you can only do it, I believe, once, even if you have multiple. Yeah, even if you have both Squawkabillies in play. But it's so important for this ability we can only use once on turn 1, that we play 2 copies because it's just crucial. We need to attack turn 1. Squawk ability, so important for that. Mew EX gives a pivot because we play Electric Generator, so a free retreat is good. Restart ability is nice there. Draw the F3 cards in hand. You don't always get cards, but the few times you do, it's very good. And then Genome Hacking for 3 energies. You copy when your opponent attacks and use it, and that can be important. You have to get it powered up, though. At least 2 attachments with a lightning, and a basic lightning and a double turbo. We play a copy of Luminion V, really important. Again, Luminous Signs. You can't attack with it because we don't have the energy, but Luminous Signs search your deck for a supporter and put it into hand. Awesome there. Pheasantipede EX. This is one of the few new cards in the deck, and really good. We can attack for 3 energy, but we're not using that very often. Again, you have to get it powered up. That's the tough part there. But flip the script, you draw 3 cards if one of your Pokemon were knocked out last turn. So just gives you a good, because we have the turn 1 set up, and like Squawk ability in particular, and Luminon V to some extent, and Radiant Greninja, right? You know what that does. Discard energy, draw 2 cards. Once you should set up, and then if you don't get knocked out, you should be able to keep things going, and then Pheasantipede will draw you the cards when you get knocked out. So it gives you enough of an engine to get set up and keep going most of the time. 1 copy of Iron Bundle, Hyper Blower. Your opponent has to, as long as Iron Bundle's on the bench, your opponent has to switch their active Pokemon, one of their bench Pokemon. They get to choose, but it's just good because we want to give us some control over what we're hitting into. While you don't get to choose what your opponent promotes, sometimes you only have 1 bench Pokemon. Sometimes you just don't want to hit into the active Pokemon. So you actually do get a meaningful amount of value out of the Iron Bundle. 1 copy, really, really like it in the Miraidon deck, and I definitely would not play the list without it. Energies, 2 double turbos, because that helps to pay for Iron Hands in particular. Can also go like on Mew if you want to do that, or even Blood Moon Ursaluna, right? 1 attachment covers 2 energies there, and you're down to 220, but that's you're still equal to Miraidon's damage, so not bad there. So 2 copies and 16 basic lightnings, because we play 4 generator, and therefore we just need a ton of energies in the deck. So 18 energies in total, which can make the deck a little inconsistent, but honestly, it works pretty well in that regard. So as I said, 4 electric generator, just super, super important. We have Miraidon EX to help get our Pokemon in play, but then also 4 Nest Balls and 4 Ultra Balls, just because we need to get Pokemon into play. So the Ultra Ball and the Nest Ball gives us enough Pokemon search there. Let's see, we don't play any Pokemon recovery, right? So we don't play Rod, which I like Rod in the deck. I will just say that, because that, puts your Pokemon back in the deck, which can be good. It also puts energy back in the deck, which then increases the odds. At late game, if playing Generator sometimes gets very tough to do because you've gotten those energies out of the deck. So I like to be able to shove some energies back in the deck. So I like Rod in the deck. I probably would drop that in. 4 Arven just makes sense. Gets an item and a tool. And tools, by the way, 1 Bravery Charm. We're all basic, so it gives us plus 50 HP. That's good. And 2 Forest Seal Stone. We have a couple of Vs. Forest Seal Stone, again, the deck doesn't have a great engine, but getting that Star Aquaman ability once over the course of the game, very good there. And then we do play Town Store. Let's just bump a stadium if we need to. And of course, search. You get to search your deck for a tool card, and we have those tools that we really like in the deck. Play 2 switch cards. That's our switching. It does heal us 30 because we're a basic deck. Also do play Prime Catcher, so that does switches us and our opponent. And of course, Generator only accelerates. But Generator, I didn't say what it does, did I? So look at the top 5 cards of your deck. You attach up to 2 basic energies you find there to your bench Lightning Pokemon any way you like. So only to your Lightning, so you can't pair up the Mew, the Blood Moon Ursaluna with it. The Pheasantipede EX would be nice too, but we can't. And you want to get energies in the top of your deck, hopefully, and you hit them. One thing I was really surprised is that he doesn't play Academy of Night. I believe I have the name of that card right. So Academy at Night, which I think I would put in the deck. Once during each player's turn, that player may put a card from their hand on top of the deck. So assuming you have a Lightning Energy in hand, which you're going to have a lot of times, so before you play a Generator, you use Academy at Night, you put 1 Lightning Energy on top of your deck. And if you listen to Worlds at all, Wass, they explained it very well. Normally, like Electric Generator, you're really hoping to get 2, and hitting 2 a lot of times is important. It can be the difference between taking a knockout and not, which can, of course, be the difference between winning and losing the game. you need to hit 2 energies out of those 5 cards. If you play though Academy at night, now the top energy card is top card in your deck is energy. So that's 1 guaranteed, and then you have the next 4 cards. You need 1 of those 4 cards to be an energy. So you've now increased the odds significantly of getting 2 energies accelerated with your electric generator. So I would put Academy at night in the deck, especially for ladder play. I just think it increases the odds of the generator enough that I think you need to do it. All right, with 4 Arvin, like I said, 3 bosses orders, very good there. 1 research. I think that makes it's obviously very useful. It does. And those are all the cards. So a relatively compact deck list. Now, part of why it's compact is we have 16 basic energies, which eats up a lot of deck slots. We also have a lot of one-of Pokemon, right? So a fairly compact set of trainers, just 8, just 12 different trainers, which is on the short side, and several 4-ofs, but a super effective deck. Not an overly complicated deck, but look, don't be fooled. Don't think it's a simple deck to play, because it's not. If you're not familiar with the deck, you'll find you're making mistakes, but you'll quickly learn from those mistakes too. So definitely give this deck a try. If you like Miraidon, definitely play it. And if you don't like Miraidon, don't think it's that good, give it a try too, because you're going to find out the Miraidon EX is a better Pokemon than you thought, both for its Tandem ability, but also as an attacker, it is quite nice there. So anyway, take care, have fun, and play some Pokemon.